welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. But today, y'all, we're going to talk about things that we need to stop doing if we want our hair to start growing and flourishing and start retaining length, because I personally have made some of these mistakes on my natural hair journey, and I don't want other people to make the same mistakes. And sometimes people are making them and they don't even realize that it's a mistake. Now, if you're doing these things and it's working for you, then girl, ignore me. But if you find yourself doing some of these things and you're like, hey, she might be right, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, okay? So one of the things that I was guilty of in my hair journey was I had to stop obsessing over other people's hair that wasn't like mine. So I noticed that when people make comments on my pages or other people's channels, especially those with type 3 hair, but they're actually type 4, they will watch like our Mad Curls or Bianca Renee or Franchella's Curls. People like that, they have beautiful hair. I'm not saying don't watch their channels or support them. You absolutely should. They have amazing content. But I see a lot of girls that are type 4 and they'll say that in the comments. They'll say, well, hey, I tried to use that leave-in that you said you love and my hair was dry. You don't got hair like her, boo-boo. Your hair requires more moisture, different types of products, maybe different types of ingredients. You need products that can easily be distributed through your hair. You need more of the products. So it's a lot of differences between some of the products that they use and the techniques that they use that may not necessarily be working for your hair. So let's say Bianca Renee, for example, she might use a leave-in and she'll put, you know, maybe a quarter size of the leave-in in her hand, do this, and she'll rake it through her hair. Well, you're trying to follow that and it's not working for you because you can't do that with your hair. Like the amount that she used and raked through her whole head, you need that for one section of your hair. So we have to start obsessing over content creators and just people in general with hair more like ours and follow what products and techniques that they're using. Now, I'm not saying that everything they're using and doing is going to work for you, but you have a better chance of finding products and techniques that will work for your hair better than using those of someone who has a lot different texture than you. Next is we need to stop thinking that just because we're low porosity that we don't need protein. You absolutely need protein. Your hair is made up from 80 to 85% of protein called keratin. So you do need protein. Some of us need protein less than others, but we still need protein somewhere in our routine. Protein helps strengthen your hair so it won't be as fragile, won't break as easily, and it'll help your styles last longer and perform better. When your hair is not weak and stringy and you have a nice amount of protein moisture balance in your hair, you will see your hair coil and curl the way it should and not be so undefined. So protein would help with that. If you find your hair to be mushy and just too soft and it doesn't perform the way you want to, maybe you need some form of protein, maybe a lightweight protein and maybe a strong protein, but try some protein to see if that will help. Because a lot of type 4s or low porosity people say, well, I'm low porosity, so I'm protein sensitive. Not everybody is protein sensitive just because they're low porosity, and being protein sensitive doesn't mean you don't need protein. You may just not need as much protein as someone else. If you thought, oh, I need to use some protein, and you went straight in for the Afro-G treatment and then your hair was hard and brittle or dry and you was like, oh, I'm protein sensitive, so I don't need protein. Well, maybe that protein was just too strong for your hair. Maybe you just need a deep conditioner that has protein in it, and then that'll bring your curls back to life and still give you a nice moisture protein balance. Another thing we have to stop doing is stop forcing products to work. If you're using a product and you have to re-moisturize your hair every day, boo-boo, that product is not good for you. It's not. If you have to re-moisturize your hair every other day, that product is not good for you, and you only probably using it because your favorite YouTuber loves it. Girl, get rid of that and move on to the next thing and find what's really going to work for your hair and really moisturize your hair for at least 3, 5, 7 days, because the everyday, every other day thing, girl, no. I'm not saying waste products. I know we want to use stuff up so we don't waste our money, but don't go bald trying to make a product work. If you struggle with detangling your hair, what we need to do is stop being lazy and pre-poo. And the reason why I say that is because Detangling is the part that I hate the most about wash day. So I have to do it when I'm in the mood. So I like to pre-poo because when I get started on my wash day, that's when I'm actually in the mood to do my hair. And that's when I'm the most gentle with detangling my hair. I love to use the African Pride pre-poo along with other things, but that is my favorite, affordable and accessible one to use. And I like to do it in the beginning because by the time I get to my deep conditioner and my leave-in, I'm like done over wash day at that point anyway. And if I start trying to detangle my hair at that point, I'm not going to be as gentle and probably not as thorough either. So I know sometimes pre-poo seems to people like an extra step, but for a lot of us, it's necessary. Pre-pooing can also help you to start to learn how to finger detangle your hair. If you want to stop using tools and you want to start finger detangling, pre-pooing is the best way to do it, I think, because like I said, by the time you get to your deep conditioner and then you want to start detangling your hair, even with your fingers, you're like, and you go right back to the tool. So give it a try. You may see less breakage in your hair. We need to stop being scared to trim our hair. Now, I'm not saying that you're supposed to trim your hair on a schedule every 4 to 6 weeks, 2-3 months. No, your hair will let you know when you need a trim. And trims are necessary because if you don't trim it because you think you're retaining length, you're actually losing more length than you should, because by the time you decide, okay, I need to trim my hair, it's stringy, it's splitting, and it's splitting upward in an upward motion. So you're gonna have to cut off more hair just for your hair to look full and healthy again and for it to stop breaking. So your hair will let you know. You can run your hands down your hair when you get to your ends. If they're really rough and feel kind of really dry, it's harder for you to detangle and things like that. That will let you know you need a trim. Sometimes you don't necessarily need a trim. You might just need to go in and search and destroy and just get rid of knots in your hair. So whatever you need to do, do it so that you can detangle your hair better, you can retain more length, and you're not just letting your hair just split and break up and then you don't understand why you can't retain length. Another thing is, stop thinking you always have to use really thick products because you're type 4 and you're low porosity. If you really think about it, you're low porosity. Your cuticles are on your hair down tightly. So if you try to push a watermelon through your nose, how hard is that going to be? Exactly. So a lot of times you might want to try deep conditioners and leave-in that do have a more lightweight consistency so they can actually penetrate into your strands. Once you're using like a lighter weight leave-in, then you can seal in the moisture with a nice thick butter, cream, or something like that. So you want to actually use something that can penetrate into your hair, and then you're going to seal it in and be able to retain moisture longer. A lot of times we use a lot of thick products. We wonder why we're getting flakes and everything like that. It's so thick and it's just sitting on top of your hair. Only so much of it, that thick product, can get into your strands, and then the rest of it is just sitting there. So try that and see if that's helpful. And lastly, we have to stop thinking that we're low porosity just because we're type 4. A lot of us type 4s are also high porosity. Some of us wonder why we can't keep our hair moisturized. I'm low porosity and I'm doing everything my low porosity YouTuber loves to do, but my hair isn't staying moisturized. Make sure you know what your porosity is. If your hair's not staying moisturized, it may be the products that you're using, but it also may be that you are medium or high porosity and the moisture is leaving your hair faster. So those are some of the things that I had to learn throughout my journey and I had to stop doing so that my hair can actually flourish and I can retain more length. So hopefully some of these tips help you guys out. Like I said, this does not apply to everyone. If you are doing any of these things and it's working for you, that's totally fine. Do your thing, girl. But if this helps you, please let me know down in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.